Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Zoobox Goes to the Movies. I'm Shaun, and I'm here with my faithful hobo, Mr. Daniel. How you doing, Mr. Dan?
It's cold, but I'm here.
He's been kept warm by the fires of
Patriot swag.
his Patriot swag. Yeah, he's gonna die. He's gonna get found in his Patriot swag.
What can I say, dude? I don't want to pay. I like having the extra money that I.
They're gonna come out like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. They're gonna come out and make a statement and be like, "Listen, it was never advertised that you could live in sub-zero temperatures in Patriot swag."
Well,
Well,
hey,
God
man.
bless them for trying.
The
God bless
cavemen did it in caves and shit. I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, well, it's weird. You know, we got pussified pretty quick. Like as soon as
Yeah.
any modern conveniences came along, like
Yep.
think about like toilets.
Yep.
No, we got pussified quick. I bet it was like 15 years, and people were like, "Where the hell? What do you mean pee outside? Fuck that."
I mean, most people were still had outhouses in the 50s and 60s and shit. Like a lot of 50s and stuff. Like if you lived out in the country.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
they hadn't. You're right.
So I'd say.
But
I would
once
say
they
it's been a
got them,
long-
though, they turned
Yeah.
into pussies.
Exactly.
I mean, farmers. Think about farmers. Like think about farmers before tractors. These country folk, right? Like they were.
Yeah.
That's some hard ass work.
Yeah.
That's not like that was like slavery. Like, cause that wasn't a vocation. Like, I don't think people didn't wake up one day and want to be farmers. They were born into being farmers.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why people had 10 kids to work the farm. You know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Basically slavery, I guess.
It's like people trying to collect welfare checks, but work on farms.
Yeah, I mean, that's why adoption services, let you have 10, 12 kids. They used to hand them out to farmers like, for nothing.
Did they really?
I don't really know. I just made that up. Sounds like a good plan, though, back in the day.
Yeah, it sounds like it could.
It probably happened. Have you seen Holes with Shia LaBeouf? Come on.
Yeah, those prisoner kids, they love digging holes. They loved it.
Fucking X-Ray. Fuck yeah, dude.
Probably going to be coming. Probably will be on Disney Plus soon if it's not already there.
Everything's on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I haven't really looked, but I'm pretty sure it's there.
I mean, we have Disney Plus. I don't like. It's not really for me necessarily, but it's cool to have it.
I was sitting there and I'm
my kid, but
I don't have a kid. I don't have that excuse. I just said I can get it for free because of a Verizon. If you have on Verizon Unlimited, you get it for free. If it's free, it's free. So
it must be like credit because that is everything you grew up with. Because we were a Disney Channel household. Like we had the Disney Channel,
sure,
all the time. Like so, a lot of those shows.
I just don't think I'll go back and watch them. I don't see the interest. If I had kids, I could show them, hey, here's fucking Corey and Topanga, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say, cut to Dan watching Boy Meets World right after he gets off of here.
I
just put it on to fall asleep.
Yeah, Topanga was hot as fuck growing up. I was like, dude, Topanga's the chick. Especially when they go to college and shit. You're like, fuck.
Topanga's still hot. Topanga's like a fine wine.
Yeah, Lizzie McGuire, fucking hot today, dude.
See, that's really Lizzie McGuire's not my type, because.
I mean,
if it's too traditional, like traditionally attractive.
If it's got a wet hole, I'm in.
Especially with temperatures like your house right now.
Call me a Loch Ness monster.
But anyways, so this week we checked out the new film, the underperforming, actually kind of a minor bomb, Dr. Sleep. This thing was set to do big numbers. Like they thought for sure. It was going to have a big, like a $30 million opening, which is pretty decent for a rated R movie. And they were on the back end building like out the Shining verse. They were going to do a Dick O'Halloran movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which
is that the black guy in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
But that just seems like such a weird thing to make like a Shining verse.
Yeah, I mean it would be weird, but
that's like just corporate franchising.
I love the world though. It's a cool world that they've kind of built.
All right, so let's get into it. So for the first 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to give you our spoiler-free impressions. We'll give a star rating at the end of that, and then once we're done with that, we'll probably talk to a little bit of spoilers. And just as another addendum to that, there'll probably be some spoilers for the book too. I actually listened to the audiobook over the past few months. Leading up to this coming out, so
not that dedicated on my part, honestly.
I was just curious because I'd read The Shining when I was younger because I loved the movie, And then when
Well,
Doctor Sleep came out, I started it. It came out in like 2011 or 2012. I started the book, got about a third of the way through, didn't finish it, and then when they announced the movie or when they put out the trailer for the movie, I was like, oh, I should go
audiobook.
finish it. And I audiobooked it. The audiobook, the entire audiobook's on YouTube, by the way.
Is it any? So would you say it's a good representation, the movie, of what the book is?
I would say the movie is an excellent adaptation. So just some of the keynotes about the movie before we start. Directed by Mike Flanagan, kind of the new up-and-coming horror director. He's responsible for another successful adaptation of a Stephen King work called Gerald's Game for Netflix. A lot of people like that. His big kind of claim to fame right now is he did the show also for Netflix, Haunting of Hill House, just like kind of celebrated in the horror community and just the mass audiences. People really liked it. So he's kind of the new up-and-coming dude, and he got kind of handed the keys to the kingdom because of Haunting of Hill House. And stars Ian McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson, and a bunch of other people you've never heard of.
Yeah.
It's a pretty small cast. A pretty tight cast.
Probably 10 people.
But with only really like, but I would say like it really only focuses on like two or three people really.
Four people. I would say
people.
Four.
Okay.
I would say.
So, what are your general thoughts? What would you think of it? What did you think?
I would give it a go to the movies if you want to go on a date. You know, I wouldn't say go if you're gonna just because you want to go. I don't know. It just seems like a really good date movie to me. If I was gonna take it, yeah.
Did you like it? Did you?
I enjoyed it.
How do you like The Shining in general? Do you like the original?
Well,
like the movie. Well,
that's the thing, though, is the original Shining is so far away from the original book.
Yes, but
it's kind of hard to say that is this a sequel to The Shining directed by Stanley Kubrick, or which is what obviously they're getting at. If you watch the film, you'll understand.
We could talk more about that in the spoiler section, but
sure.
They understood. I mean, in the trailers, everybody knows they go back to the Overlook. It's in the trailer. It's actually in one of the posters as well.
Yeah.
So they go back to the Overlook Hotel at some point in the movie. But I think it's an adaptation of the book, and it's a good adaptation. It is a very fair representation of the book.
I mean, it was good. It was enjoyable. So,
but it is also he understood. Mike Flanagan knows that the general audiences know The Shining from the movie. They don't really know the book as well. So you have to. And if you're going to do a sequel, like a quote-unquote pseudo-sequel to The Shining, like you have to acknowledge the Kubrick movie.
Well, you should.
You have to. You don't have a choice.
But they even acknowledge the book, too, when we get into the spoilers.
Yeah, when we get into spoilers, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
My general impression, I really liked about 3/4 of this movie.
The ending? Is that where it kind of got you?
The last act, I thought...
Yeah,
almost entirely... Like, it went off the rails in a way that I thought was corny and just bad.
It was pretty interesting because I really enjoyed the characters.
I love the first hour, like when it's just Danny Torrance.
I would even say the first hour and a half.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed up till. Okay, we'll get into that later, but basically till the last 30 minutes.
Kind of the final act of the film.
30, 40 minutes, they're just kind of like, oh, come on, because they could have done so many cool things. And I understand that they took this from a book, but I thought they could have maybe done.
Well, the ending is completely different than the book's ending.
No, well, I'm not even saying the ending. I'm just saying the perspective of Danny. I think they could have done some cooler stuff with Danny than where he ended up, personally.
Yeah. Well, I liked what they did with him in terms of where his character was at, in the sense of like trying to kind of dull his shine, and it kind of how that experience really did carry on for the rest of his life until he found kind of a place where he could utilize his abilities for like the greater good in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I liked that. I liked that part. I liked the whole thing with him kind of getting his shit together and joining AA and becoming a hospice worker.
Whoa. Why are you getting into the spoilers, dog? We're not in the spoiler zone yet.
It's how it happens in the first 10 minutes. I mean,
no spoilers stuff.
Okay, no spoilers. Okay. But I would say, yeah, if you like generally like just thrillers, and you like The Shining, see, this is where it gets hard. If you're a fan of the movie The Shining, you're gonna have mixed feelings about this movie because of the final act.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, actually, no, I take that back. It depends how hardcore of like a movie nerd. Like I am a huge Kubrick nerd. I have seen The Shining so many times I can't even objectively tell you if it's a good movie or not. It's just like part of my life.
It's your DNA almost.
Like, dude, I've watched it 3 times since I bought the 4K in October.
Jeez.
I watched Doctor Sleep and then I turned it on again the other night.
Hey, I haven't watched The Shining in probably a year or so. It's a once a year thing for me with The Shining. I like The Shining a lot. The documentary is just as good too. Room 237.
Oh, that's awesome! But that's more about just movie fandom and what it's like to be critical of movies and obsessed.
That's Kubrick's daughter, isn't it? That did that documentary. Room 237.
No,
did she do a documentary?
She did the behind the scenes of the movie while they were on location.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. I watched that.
Yeah, that's on it was been on every like DVD and Blu-ray release.
Yeah.
I think it's Doctor Sleep is its own thing for the vast majority of the movie. It has its own tone. I would even say it's more like horror fantasy.
Yeah,
it almost kind of feels like a really good young adult novel, like almost like a young adult story, just with like more violence. There's a few scenes in particular that I thought were really effective. I can't get into them right now, but I would say this. I would say overall, I would give it about 3 out of 5 stars.
I would say that's fair. I think 3 out of 5 is fair. I would even push it maybe 3.5, maybe. And there's reasons why I feel that way.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I want to watch it again. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do want to see it again. There is a part of me that wants to see it without being in a theater, if you know what I mean. People getting up and walking by the screen or coughing and talking.
Your eyes lose focus. I hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Pinatas, whatever, dude.
People throwing money in the air.
Yeah, just wild shit, dude.
Russians yelling.
Yep. The movie was basically a giant advertisement. That's a joke, inside joke. You guys won't get it unless you get it. But I would say 3 to 3.5, somewhere in that range. Yeah.
I think its heart is surprising.
It's in the right place. It's in the right place.
Very much. Even the parts I don't like, I understood why they were there.
There's good metaphor and stuff in it.
Yeah. So okay, everybody, we're just gonna dive into some spoilers now. Because I definitely want to talk to Dan about especially the end. But yeah. So if you haven't seen the movie or if you don't care, you can stay or go. This is your chance now. Leave.
This is it.
Hey.
Beep, beep. That's the motherfucking spoiler zone coming, baby. Let's go. Beep, beep, beep.
I wish I had that piñata that could drop.
I know, dude.
Spoilers. So okay. So what was anything before we talk about the end you want to talk about? Actually, what did you think of the baseball kid scene?
Yo, that shit was intense. That's what I was about to say. So there's a scene where, if you guys have seen the movie, I think it's probably the thing that stands out the most. And it's that fucking kid from The Room. Yeah. That's who that kid is. That kid from The Room and Wonder, whatever.
Tremblay or something.
Jeff Tremblay. Yeah, that's his name.
Michael Tremblay or something.
Yes. Yeah. But I really didn't think that was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna be some cheesy. No, I thought it was gonna be some cheesy. I didn't think they were gonna literally torture him.
Oh, dude, that was when he looks up at Rebecca Ferguson, who is fantastic in this movie. She's great. Yeah, she's having a really good time, and you can tell. Yeah, she's like really relishing like this role,
being a villain.
And this little kid, he's like 10 years old. He like looks up at her. He's like, "Are you gonna hurt me?" And she's like, "Yeah." Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because like I think they touch on it in the movie, but in the book they get into it more. The more like pain you cause, the stronger the steam is.
Yeah. The stronger, basically, the
more pure.
You can pull the essence from them, or more of it, or purer versions of it.
Psychic steam or whatever it is.
Dude, that one of my favorite scenes, which I knew something was gonna happen. But the first time Rebecca, or Rose is her name in Rose the Hat, when she goes out of her body, she does that fucking shit.
When she's like
What's it called? Projecting? Astral projection?
Yes, yeah.
Astral projecting herself into her room. But basically it's in the girl's mind. It's really not in her room. And there's an open file cabinet, and then her hand gets stuck, and the girl wakes up, and she's freaking out. Oh, that shit was awesome, dude. Then you just see her flipping. Then the girl, the powers, like the supreme, these crazy powers, goes in her head. This is some Inception shit, dude. I was like, I'm in your head while you're in my head. Like, whose head am I in? What the fuck is happening?
It's very like Nightmare on Elm Street parts of it. Like Freddy Krueger type shit. But back to the kid, the baseball kid scene when they're torturing this kid. I could tell, like, I was watching it, and it's really the screams that really get to you because that kid really sells that shit.
Yeah, dude.
And you could tell in post production, to make it less intense, they have the music come up and they dull the scream a little bit.
Yeah.
And you could tell they did that because it's so intense. I can't tell. Like, whenever, okay, just disclaimer, I have a kid, so anytime children in peril kind of gets to me now.
Yeah.
Because I immediately think of my kid. But like, so I was watching that, and I saw that little trick. It was like, oh, this is almost like too intense, and they had to pull it back a little bit.
Because that shit was pretty fucking terrifying.
And it's not graphic. It's not graphic.
No.
At all. It's all the sound design and the concept.
And the screams and the kid's face, and you're just sitting there, and then they're all basically sucking the life out of him and shit. And it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, there's a couple really crazy shots.
I was, you know what I was probably more disappointed with? I think, in a way, which I get the whole premise of Danny's character. He's an alcoholic, just like his father. He
becomes an alcoholic to stop The Shining.
Right, to suppress it.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been so much better if Danny was like a hunter, almost. Like he dude, no, I know it's so cheesy, but I just wanted to see.
It's so stupid.
No, listen, I wanted to see him be more of a badass, I guess, because if he really did discover The Shining when he was a kid and all this stuff, and he was taught how to put away these monsters in his head, that's what he does. He puts them in the mind box or whatever.
Yeah, Dick O'Halloran's in the movie. Dick O'Halloran's ghost comes and talks to Danny. In the book, he's still alive because he actually doesn't die in the book, and he teaches Danny how to like hide monsters in these like little boxes inside his brain so they can't bother him.
It's Sherlock Holmes' mind palace, basically. Think of that. It's his mind palace, dude. But there's just not a. I just think, I don't know. I wish his character was a little more badass. That's really.
Well, to me,
I know it's not his development, but because he's a broken child, he was a broken child.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Well, and he finds in Abra somebody to kind of correct what happened to him, and also he gets to be the new Dick O'Halloran. Like, he had to learn.
Yeah, I know.
This kind of lesson that I have a responsibility to be a mentor, just like he was to me.
Because when Dick comes to him, when he's because he's being weird as fuck, and I kept thinking this whole movie, how does this dude never get arrested? He's in every time a dude dies, he's in the room with him.
Because the hospital kind of knows.
No. I don't think the hospital knows.
Because the guy who hires him knows that he's psychic.
But they don't know that can fucking know when someone's gonna die.
They literally call him Dr. Sleep.
Only the people in the fucking beds that are dying.
I think it's implied that that they kind of know. They don't like nobody comes out and flat out says it. They know there's something special with Dan Torrance.
Fucking goddamn legend, dude. You know that fucking dude would have sold him down the river in real life. Hey man, all the news and shit, fucking getting people. Another avenue they could have taken, which would have been cool. He becomes a celebrity psychic. That would have been hilarious. Just to ruin the life of
that would have been definitely an interesting direction, but then you obviously have a different story. I would say a lot of the problems with this movie are not really the director and the writer's fault. This is really a material problem because the book has a really strong start, just like the movie. It's like as it goes along, it kind of gets almost too convoluted, like too contrived as it goes. And then,
when did it stop for you? When did it stop being good?
The way they killed all of the psychic vampires, the True Knot.
I
They
didn't
just have
mind that.
They have a shootout in the woods.
I didn't mind that, which was ridiculous. That was a little stupid.
They
But
literally stand like and it's not that the scene is bad, right? It's the way that it was shot with Dan and his friend just standing behind a tree while 10 or 6 or 7 people are shooting at them at what 25 yards away.
No, they were further than that. They were probably 50 plus, but they were pretty far. That's a hard shot with a pistol for sure.
Okay,
especially revolvers.
Well, these people have been around forever, Dan. They should be better shots.
You're right. You're right. You know, but there was a sense of, wait, was his name Gordy? What the fuck was that guy's name?
His friend? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was something like that, Gordy or something. But when that chick tells him to do it, to kill himself.
Oh, that was.
I was no, please, and he does it. I was like, fuck, because I liked him, dude. He was the guy. I liked him the most.
Even though he's a little bit underdeveloped, I thought
sure
you get a good sense of who he is and you like him.
You're like, you don't want this guy to die, you know. And not to mention, he goes with Danny to dig up a kid's dead body and doesn't really ask many questions.
Yeah, all the way to Iowa from.
Yeah.
They're in Massachusetts? Is that where they're?
Yeah, they're in Massachusetts to go all the way to Iowa, and then they do the standoff back in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's.
And then
a lot of driving that last little bit.
And then they're driving to New York, and then they end up in New York, and that's where the car accident scene happens. And then all of a sudden, I guess Danny just picks her up in New York. Then they end up, when she wakes up, they're in Ohio, and he's like, "We're going to Colorado." They're there in 10 minutes, 5 minutes,
and then they redo
the class.
They redo the shots from the beginning of The Shining, except it's dark out this time.
Yeah,
super creepy.
And it was super snowy. I don't know. I would say the first. I even liked the girl character a lot. I really liked her in this.
I thought she was okay. I mean,
I thought she played her role.
Yeah, for a child actress, I thought she was fine.
She's probably 18, but yeah, you know,
she's 37 years old.
She's probably, you know what I mean? She's fucking 13.
That was Zoe Saldana and de-aging effects.
Probably. It was. I liked her character. I thought she pulled off the confidence really well. She really did. She pulled that confidence move. I don't know.
They have her as like kind of an inverse Danny Torrance, where she's like strong-willed. She's not going to let the shine. She has a better understanding of her capabilities than Danny did as a child.
Yeah, but the only reason Danny got fucked up really is because they went to the Overlook, which was so this is my thing. Okay, this is the weird thing with Stephen King. So they have to go back to the Overlook. You're gonna tell me there wasn't one fucking Indian burial ground between Massachusetts and Colorado? Not one.
Well, you know
what I mean?
In the book, it ends with they go back to the site where it used to be. It's a campground now. Because in the book, the Overlook is destroyed. So basically, the end of this movie is the end of the original Shining, where he goes to the boiler room.
Yeah, and does all that stuff.
That's the original. That's the ending of the book.
I didn't know that was an homage to the ending of the original book. I knew in the book that.
I'm sorry. What?
No, I just knew in the book that he really knew about the boiler. That's what I knew, and just seeing the old for TV movie. Yeah,
because that's an awful movie.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch because it's bad, but it's a good representation of the major beats of the book.
Well, because the book is more fantasy driven, isn't it? More of the elements is not as horror.
It's horror. Jack is also more sympathetic, and he's not like such an asshole from the get-go. You know, a lot of people criticize Kubrick's movie because Jack Nicholson basically just plays him like a prick who resents his family from moment one.
Kind of treats everyone like shit.
No,
that was going along with the themes of what he wanted to make for the movie.
Yeah, he had a different thing in mind with that.
Basically, I guarantee he goes, okay, fucking dude goes crazy, tries to kill his family. I like that idea. Let me build on that. That's pretty much what it seems like Kubrick did.
I mean, he stripped it down to its barest essentials. But
right.
There is stuff from the book in there. It's just...
But the fucking hedges don't come to life. The boiler room shit.
He stripped it down, all that like fantasy stuff out.
I wonder if Stephen King ever said he doesn't hate it because I know he fucking refused to
No,
watch it for.
he does not like it. He openly does not like it. The reason why they made the 1997 TV miniseries was for him.
That's when they did Rose Red.
They did that a couple years
Shining.
later.
You know what I mean? But I remember all those miniseries, and Stephen King would show up in a fucking pizza.
Storm of the Century.
Storm of the Century was a good one, though. That's a good one.
That one is not actually based. That's just a script he wrote for a miniseries.
That's a good one. I haven't seen it in 15 years, probably.
Yeah, it was creepy as fuck when we were kids.
Dude, when his eye, dude, what was it like? They would sing that old school kid song.
Yeah.
I'm a little teaspoon.
That's right.
Stop.
Lenoge. That was the guy, the stranger.
Oh, dude, that shit is so fucking creepy. Dude, that shit was so creepy. I remember we watched that. I remember watching that on TV, I think. It was a special. It was like a 3-day special, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I also bought it on VHS.
No, but it was like a 3 days in a row special. You had to turn in every night at 8 o'clock or 9 2 nights.
2 nights, yeah.
I remember sitting in front of the TV watching that for 2 nights. I remember that as a kid. I don't know if you were there, but I remember doing that.
I think we did because ABC used to have them.
Because we taped it. Didn't we tape it too? We put it on.
No, I bought the cassettes.
Did you remember when you could fucking do that? And no one got mad, dude.
I used to be part of was a Random House Video library collectors.
Is that where you got Kolchak shit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but do you remember? Explain this to me. This is a little sidetrack. I don't want to get too sidetracked. I don't want to do this again. But I'm just saying, we could back in the day. You could. It was a known thing. You could put a tape in, record something, pay-per-view. No one gave a fuck.
No, there were some things that had scramblers on them and stuff like that. There was certain security protections, because you could do the double VCR trick. You rent movies and tape them.
Yeah.
Some movies would have little security things in there that would.
Yeah, but I'm saying live television, they couldn't stop you.
No, not really. No, you could tape mostly anything. The only
pay-per-view.
The only problem people really have ever had is if you sell it. They don't want you to sell it after the fact. That's when you start breaking the law.
So you can't even hand them out to people then, technically.
No, you're not supposed to. It's only for private use only.
Fucking bullshit. Fucking scumbags. But, whatever. It is what it is. But anyway.
I used to take shit all the time off TV.
Yeah, I know. I remember doing it. Land Before Time movies, we used to do that shit. I think the overall arcing up till the end, I would say up until probably the shootout scene, or because Gordy's death really meant something to me. That really hit me.
No, I would say that part I just thought was a little
up to the car accident.
I thought the execution of that scene was bad. It's just
big battles, dude. No real battle.
Well, it was just weird that all of a sudden we're having a shootout in this movie.
In the middle of a Stephen King movie, there's just a shootout. I wonder if that happened in the book. Did that happen in the book, a shootout?
I think so. It's hard to remember. Actually, the end of Dr. Sleep is very forgettable. But it ends with Danny does not die. Danny just becomes he's actually Abra's uncle. You find out, he's actually related to Abra, which was
what?
Yeah, it was stupid. So I'm glad they didn't do that in the movie. So basically, the end of the movie is a lot like the end of the Shining book, because in the end of the book of the Shining, Jack Torrance kind of appears to Danny.
Do you know what would make if they want to build the Shining verse?
No, they should.
If they want to, they need to make it a television series. I'd be down to watch that.
Actually, I would have rather this had been a 5-part Netflix series or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked the movie. I thought the adaptation was really pretty solid.
No, I enjoyed it, but the last 30 minutes, like you said, when they get to the Overlook, especially, they get to the Overlook, and then it turns into some weird thing.
It goes into
sneaking boxes and
weird, The Shining greatest hits, where they actually literally recast people in the role of actually, the guy, because Jack Torrance shows up. He's the new bartender. He's the new Lloyd.
Yep.
That's the kid from E.T.
Shut the front door, really?
Yeah. He's also, because he had worked with the director a couple times already.
He did okay. Not really.
He did okay. The problem is just it invites the comparison too much. Then all of a sudden, all you can think about is how
It's Jack.
awesome The Shining is.
Yeah.
When you're showing
Jack
me, like, don't show me these scenes. You don't need to. I thought it was really corny when they had like when he's
the
just walking.
stairs.
No, he's just walking around the Overlook, and you're seeing
Yeah, the flash.
recreations,
Yeah.
the flashbacks. I was kind of like, why do this?
I
Why?
thought it. I guess he wanted before because he knew what he was going there to do. He knew what he was going there to do.
No,
The
I'm
first
saying,
thing he does is he goes down to the boiler room.
yeah, I know. Which
So
I
maybe he wanted
also
to take a quick
found
peek around.
strange.
And
When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. I knew exactly what they were doing. I was like, you're going to do the ending of The Shining because this is what Stephen King was mad about.
this is how do you forgive it all?
And then the most egregious thing. So throughout The Shining, the last act of the movie The Shining, there's tons of all these creepy like ghosts and stuff that show up that are only in the movie for like literally seconds. And they become they become major players. Like the Avengers, the Overlook Avengers assemble and rip apart Rose the Hat and then turn on Danny, who's been keeping them in mind boxes.
And he couldn't get them locked back up for some reason. Why couldn't he just lock them back up? What was up? There was too many of them.
Too many, dog. Too many.
I don't know. And then it turned into he's this possessed by the Overlook Hotel. The fuck?
Yeah, because that's what happens to Jack Torrance.
Well,
really,
it's
really
fucking,
what happens to Jack
just because
Torrance.
Stephen King wrote it doesn't mean it was good, because that's stupid.
Well, that's what I mean. They were trying to like acknowledge the Kubrick stuff, only superficially though. Like it's the aesthetic that they were acknowledging, while trying to service King's vision of the story, and kind of make up for the fact that King didn't like what King did not like that Jack Torrance was like irredeemable in the movie. Because part of Jack Torrance's like journey in the book and stuff is about dealing with alcoholism and overcoming your demons finally at the end, and like doing something in service of your family because you've been selfish your whole life.
The debt that is owed, it must be paid. Dick Valentine, whatever his name was. It's yeah. I mean that last act was definitely a little rough for sure.
Didn't you feel like it just felt like a different movie all of a sudden?
Yes, it turned into almost a comedy. It was comical because I'm watching this and they have the reverse stare scene where, I get it. I don't know. It wasn't terrible, but it was not needed. And then they go into the mine maze and then they try to sneak a box up on her, but it doesn't work. And I don't know. It just was it just kind of got muddled and it got lost at the end. But they didn't even have a battle, dude. If they would have had some psychic battle, some real shit, fucking tossing shit around.
Have you ever seen the movie Scanners? No, probably not.
I don't remember. I've saw it years ago.
David Cronenberg movie, and they're like these psychics, and they battle on the streets, and they try to blow each other's heads up. Actually, South Park made fun of it one time. When they made fun of Inception.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how they're like, no, yeah, and they're like the psychic guys are like, I don't know, circling each other, going like beep 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 beep. That's what they're trying to scanners each other, they're trying to blow each other's heads up. That's kind of what I feel like. I don't know how you do a psychic battle. Like, I don't know how you do that in a movie. No,
you just throw each other. You throw shit at each other with your mind, and you fucking, I don't know, you mind wrestle. I don't fucking, this is not Little Nicky, I know, but anything. Then what they did, even if they had to go into her cathedral and fight her there in her mind or something more epic, and then maybe they fucking
just turn it into the Nightmare or the Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, like you could fight her in her mind or something, but then do you know what would be fucking badass, dude? That if they did there's two ways it could go. You could either go Nightmare on Elm Street, they're battling in her mind, or they do some more Inception type shit. But they sneak into her mind, whatever, and then erase her memory. They just burn all her memory up.
Yeah, I wish
that would have been cool. Something like that.
I was expecting it to be more clever.
Yeah.
Not just have a bunch of monsters come out and attack her. I thought they were going to do something like fuck with her head, like break her somehow, right? That
would have been cool. That would have been cool.
I didn't think it was going to be this literal thing where a bunch of ghosts come out and attack her.
They just all pop up in like 10 seconds, and they lay on top of her. They have an orgy of filth, and they just suck her dry. Basically, it was weird. And also, so these people have The Shining. They figure out how to suck the life from people or whatever, trap them in these thermos containers or whatever.
Yeah.
And because they're no longer human though.
I guess they're just evil spirits.
They become like demons or something.
I'm assuming that the people that are ghosts in the Overlook were like maybe the evil people or something. And
yeah, I don't fucking. That makes no. It just doesn't make sense because
no, it really doesn't. It really doesn't track at all.
Well, in the first book, do they actually have the ability to really reach out and hurt you? I mean, they do. I guess.
So. Yeah, because of the hedge maze and all that stuff. Yeah, they can.
It's just fucking lame, dude. Stephen King should have fucking let that one slide. They should have stuck to Stanley Kubrick's more psychological element. I mean, you could have brought all that fantasy stuff in, and it would have been cool. But
that's the thing. When it's its own movie, it's fine. It's not until they start like trying to ape Kubrick and do like what looks like a cheap Disney like amusement park ride at the end, where you have like animatronic Jack Torrance as the Bart. Like it was just. You know what I mean? It's like going.
Why couldn't you just light a normal fire too? And then and so those things have escaped, and then the girl walks into the bathroom to fight one at the end.
Well, because she's been exposed to them just like Danny was, so she could be haunted by them, I guess. And apparently she must know about these mind boxes now.
Yeah, obviously he talked to her about it, but now he can train her. He can be her.
Yeah, now he's like a
Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's Obi-Wan Kenobi of the Shining.
Well, he's coming back. That's going to be a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but
no, they're doing it now. They're filming it now.
I thought it was the Mandalorian that he was filming in. I thought he was in that.
No, he's getting in his own show.
Let me see here. Fucking.
He's growing his beard right now.
Because like Metascore is. Got a 60.
I think that's kind of fair.
60 is not bad. IGN straight 85. No fucks. Holy shit. That's wild. Let me see Ewan. Let's see what this was. It Obi-Wan Kenobi? Is it the name of the show?
I have no idea what the name is. I just know they're doing an Obi-Wan show.
Fucking ridiculous.
What did you think of his performance?
Oh, I like his performance, especially in the first couple parts are really great.
I kind of wish the movie was more just that stuff. Like it was just a little smaller scale. It doesn't have to. While I did enjoy like Rebecca Ferguson's performance and everything, I'm not sure I ever really cared about the gypsies or the True Knot. Even though they're in the movie a lot, they actually have a lot of screen time, a lot more than I expected. Like Rebecca Ferguson has a lot of screen time.
Yeah, she has a lot.
It's about equal with Ian McGregor at least.
Dude, if they would have opened the movie with murdering that little girl the way they murdered the boy.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't.
That shit was well, I mean they were in public in a park. That's probably why they couldn't do it like that, I guess.
Fucking just tell everybody like this is the fucking movie you're watching, guys. We kill kids in this movie.
She tastes like flowers. You're like, oh dude, what the fuck?
Ooh.
And that pedophile hunter. Wow, she really turned to the dark side quick. She went from hunting pedophiles to fucking killing kids. In the span of fucking like a couple days.
2 weeks. No, I don't. I have no idea.
I can live forever. Fuck them kids. Fucking weird, dude. I was sitting there. This is the worst. That was the worst. That was so stupid to me.
Yeah, that was a little underdeveloped because.
But then again, it could have corrupted her.
They do a better job with that in the book. Actually, there's a whole like subplot in the book where most of the True Knot dies because they get the measles from the baseball kid.
See, that would have been cool.
They all get the measles and they kind of slowly die off.
And you know, this is the big problem with Hollywood, and this is something Marvel does well. That I will at least say about Marvel. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan, but Marvel has a really good sense of patience. They are pumping these movies out. But they're patient about it as far as how it goes.
What do you mean?
I feel like Doctor Sleep could have been a couple movies, maybe. Probably would have been able to flesh it out, make it a little bit better.
Yeah, but if they had if they had done that though, and then the first part flopped, then what?
Then you're just fucked, just like they did with the new Hellboy.
I
Fucking,
mean, kind of like what they did with It, right? They did
they
It
got
1
lucky.
and It Chapter 2, but because if It Chapter 1 had, which was just called It at the time, if it had not done well, it's still a contained movie.
They
Like you
could have
don't
done the
because
Doctor Sleep, maybe.
they didn't do anything with the adults in the first It,
Yeah.
so they have
Well,
a contained movie,
yeah. I'm
which
excited to see the new edited version of it. That looks like
yeah,
it's
I
gonna
mean,
be cool.
I hope. I mean, yeah, there's just fundamentally things I think that are kind of broken with
Yeah, but they're
that
gonna
movie.
be able to fix it. They're gonna cut it the
Dude,
way it was supposed to be in the book.
I hope they do that. I heard the director say that they were just gonna edit them together as one big movie and not actually correct the timeline stuff.
Yeah, that's
It's
what they're
still
gonna
no,
do.
it's still gonna be presented linear. Like
No, that's not
no,
what
the
he
problem.
said.
Did you see it, Chapter 2?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I didn't. The first one didn't do it for me enough to care.
Yeah, I didn't love the first one either, but I still saw the second one. I prefer watching the second one because I like the actors more. All the actors were really good.
Yeah.
But the problem was because they didn't have the adults in the first one at all, they have to basically remake parts of it Chapter 1 and pretend like there were scenes that we didn't see so we can have the juxtaposition between the adults and the kids because you don't
Hmm.
understand the adults' journey unless you have the kids' journey going parallel. So it was very redundant, and it's an almost a 3 hour long movie because of that. Um, but
Well,
anyway,
hey,
but if they were to take those two movies and edit them into one movie that was
they
in the
shot new
same
scenes. They
in the
did
same,
all this stuff
well,
for it.
they want to.
Yeah.
If they do that in a way that puts it back together like the book, I would be way more interested because I think if they did that, you would have probably a pretty epic movie
Probably.
for what they have. I mean, there's just style things that I don't like about those movies. It's just kind of cheap, modern horror stuff. Like some of the special effects, I think are awful. The jump scares are bad.
eh,
Uh, but Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep. Stephen King is obviously a hit or miss writer a lot of the times. So it seems. He's really good at opening and having good middle sections in his books, but his closing, he's a hard it's hard to close with him, dude.
No, it really is. They actually make a joke about that in It Chapter 2.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
because one of the guys grows up to be a writer,
Yeah.
kids, and there's a cameo of Stephen King, and the guy's like, "Oh, you're a fan," and he's like, "Yeah, but your endings suck," or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, he does have a hard time bringing it together. It's one
No,
of
but
his greatest
but
systems.
his prose are so good. His characters are so good. But I would agree most of the time, like he really has a hard time sticking the landing.
Yeah.
Especially with shit like, oh my god, Under the Dome.
Nah, I never.
I don't want to spoil. Well, whatever. I'm gonna spoil the ending of Under the Dome. It's like this story about this dome that falls over this small town, and then everybody kind of goes crazy, and everybody's like kind of vying for control and power, and hierarchies develop and stuff like that. And at the end of the book, it's just revealed that aliens did this. Aliens put everybody in the dome for an experiment.
What else would be a better ending than that?
I don't know. It's just the
Yes.
way he does it. It's just very abrupt and almost like I don't want to write this anymore.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm
Fucking
done with this shit.
pull back to Godview. Aliens. Look at that.
Aliens. Fucking right. But he does have, his I guess monikers that are really good. He has really good endings in some of his books, I guess. The Stand I know is supposed to be awesome.
Shit. The Stand is
As far
pretty good.
as far as the ending goes, I don't remember. I didn't read the book. It's fucking 2,000 pages. So
No, it's not too. It's like 1,000.
you know what I mean though.
No,
It was
actually, that's not.
exaggeration.
No, it is 1,000. Almost 1,000 pages. The Stand
The
is like
Stand is like 600 or 700. It's up
probably
there.
600 or 700. Yeah.
Fucking what is the Bible, dude? I'm good. Then he had the Dark Tower series, which I never really got through, so can't honestly say how that ends. But
I know how it ends. I did not ever finish the books, but I do know how they end.
yeah, I'm sure it's okay.
It's actually not bad. It's like kind of a big meta meta thing.
Yeah, and
Not
they
awful.
fucked that movie up. Why can't they just make a good Stephen King movie? Stanley Kubrick made the best Stephen King movie, and you know why? Because he didn't stick to the fucking script.
Yeah, because Stanley Kubrick has a way of just distilling something down to his essence. He did the same thing with The Clockwork Orange. If you go read A Clockwork Orange, he kind of just distills that book down to its very essence.
I can't believe Stephen King doesn't like that movie. How does he watch? How that is just pure hate. That's just mad that someone probably because you got Frank Darabont. Frank Darabont changed the ending of The Mist, and it's a great change. But they're friends, so I guess he's cool with that.
I know. I think it was the general tone of Kubrick's movie that he disliked. It's a nihilistic movie. It's not. There's no hope in The Shining.
Which makes it even better.
It's a very depressing movie.
It's great. Makes you
and
feel
especially
mad.
all the weird stuff that Kubrick weaved in there about like the child abuse and all sorts of stuff. I'm a firm believer that is a story about a family. He's not just an alcoholic; like he abuses his kid and stuff like that.
Like sexual abuse, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like allusions to that, and like this teddy bear imagery. There's a guy on YouTube. He rotates videos in and out behind paywalls, but he's actually worth supporting. His name is Rob Ager. Rob, and then Ager is Ager. He's a great film analysis guy. Some dude from the UK, and does deep dives on Kubrick. I found him actually from the Thing. He did a video about the Thing, about who was the Thing at the end. That's really great.
And it is good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Check that out.
Yeah,
you might have to.
He's
send
really
me that in a message.
Yeah, he's like I said, he rotates videos in and out of paywalls.
He's like a film Indiana Jones.
Yeah, a little bit.
He kind of goes with an archaeologist, or not an archaeologist. Is that the right word?
Yeah, an archaeologist.
Yeah, I'm trying. There's another word for it. I keep saying librarian, but that's not it either. He investigates. I don't know. There's a word. A detective maybe is the right word. He kind of is like going and putting the clues together. He's Batman.
Rob Ager is Batman.
He is Batman.
Yeah, just to get back to Dr. Sleep, I'm glad I actually watched it.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad.
I enjoyed it. I would say overall, I just really wish that last act was better.
It's kind of Event Horizon me, dude.
A little bit, yeah.
I got Event Horizon.
That's a good point of comparison, because Event Horizon, another movie, that first hour and 5 minutes, hour and 10 minutes, amazing.
Oh, dude, I can't watch it alone.
It's creepy as fuck.
I can't watch that movie. If I woke up at 6 a.m., had a cup of coffee, the daylight was coming out, and I put that movie on, I'd be fine. But if it's past 5, that's too close to bedtime. That's too close.
There's a scene where what's his name? Jeremy Isaacs, I think his name is, the actor's name is. He's like translating the Latin, and he realizes like what they actually were saying. Hell here. How he's just creep me out. Creep me the hell out. But there's supposedly a director's cut of that somewhere where the ending is not that
comical.
It's like a 30 minutes longer. The ending is not just like a monster fight.
Are they saying they haven't released it?
Yeah, it's in a vault somewhere. I think it's on like tape. That's why it's never been really released or something, because they didn't master everything. I don't think it was the final cut of the movie, so it was never fully mastered. I was watching an interview with the director, and he talked about it because he's wanted to do a director's cut for that movie for a long time. Because he's not a very good director. That's like the one good thing he's done. That's the guy who directed all the Resident Evil movies. Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah, never been a big fan.
No, me neither. But Event Horizon is almost really awesome.
It's great for the first hour and 20 minutes, maybe.
He also directed the first Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. I'm going to have your soul. Some shit.
Your brother's soul is mine.
It's mine. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that shit is so epic. But when we were kids, man, that shit was like fucking epic. That shit was fucking.
I still get a kick out of watching that movie.
I haven't watched that movie in a few years, but I just remember watching. Even when I was a kid, the second one came out, and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
That was bad.
What is this shit?
Even back then, that was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. Do you know what happened to? I think it was Warner Brothers or Sony, that one of their buildings burned down and their vault. Did you hear about the vault?
No.
Yeah, so they had. I think it was over. Don't quote me. There is a ridiculous number of albums that had never been released. It was like 10,000 hours of music or something crazy like that. All these music videos, movies, and it was all this stuff in Warner Brothers. It was Warner Brothers or Sony, and it just burned the fucking to the ground. And it was all masters.
Yeah.
It was all the masters. There's nothing left.
Yeah, it was probably all like B-sides from famous recording artists.
Yeah, dude, it was like Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, like when they were live recording and they just, they had all these songs that never made it to the record.
They had raw stuff, yeah.
They had supposedly when Bob Dylan was arguing, I think it was one of these major guys like Bob Dylan. They were arguing with them and they shelved the record and they never got to get heard. BB King stuff, Muddy Waters. And they just never released it. They just hoarded it in their fucking vault, and this building burned down. They lost everything. Can you believe that shit?
How did Mortal Kombat remind you of that?
To be honest, I don't know. It got me there, though.
That is a tangent on a tangent, my friend.
I don't know. It just got me there. Just
I thought for some reason you were going to say,
the Event Horizon, because how they kept the tape. It's on tape somewhere. The fuck do you mean it's on tape somewhere? It's just sitting in a vault somewhere and it's gonna burn down just like everything else.
Listen, man, I want that director's cut.
I
watch that movie every couple of years and I'm just like almost like trying to like wish
it gets better.
Like yeah,
wish you like it more this time.
I live in like some Mandela effect and I get to wake up in the other timeline where the movie was made correctly. But yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. It was a great movie. And that's the same thing with the Dr. Sleep. It's the same type of concept. Is that movie was really good and they just couldn't pull it together. And it's sad because I actually really still enjoyed it. I would watch it again. And I think you just like, oh, here it comes. This is the part I know I don't like. It's kind of like a girl who doesn't like facials. Like, it's going to happen. And then it happens, and you're just like,
I had a nut on the floor again.
Yeah.
Gonna put you in my goddamn memory box.
Yep.
Goddamn bitch.
The spank tank, dude. The spank bank, whatever. That would have been funny if she goes into his mind. What the fuck is this?
Oh my god!
No! Throw him in that box. It's just...
No, that's the naked lady in the tub.
Yeah. No. That's just pretty funny, dude.
She's sexy, right?
Great. It's enjoyable. I would tell people if you're gonna go watch it. And if you made it this far, we ruined it for you. But if you tell us what you guys think about it, dude. Tell us what you think. Hit us on Instagram, Zoobox Podcast, Facebook, Zoobox Podcast. The email is zooboxpodcast@gmail.com. And
check us out at our new home, anchor.fm/Zoobox. And if you go there, apparently, if you make an account with anchor.fm, you can leave us voice messages.
Fuck yeah, dude.
People can leave us voice messages and we can grab them, we can put them in the show.
Yeah, we can grab and put them in the show and ask us questions and we can put them in the show, or stories or whatever. But keep it under 2 minutes.
Try to keep it under 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But we never know. We might be able to do some more of that kind of stuff in the future. So, but I agree with Dan. I think if you like thrillers and stuff, go check out Dr. Sleep. So I think that's going to do it for us today. I'm Shaun.
I'm Dan.
And you've been listening to Zoobox Goes to the Movies. Thank you.